you're looking for a place that has great culture, food, and plenty of things to do, then the Twin Cities are a great place to visit. First, there are two cities to deal with great contrasting cultures and their own unique activities. But being that there's two cities, it can be hard to know what to do to make the most of each city's culture. I've put together a list of the best things you'd never miss out on while visiting Minneapolis and St. Paul. From touring the excellent museums to checking out breathtaking Mississippi Gorge, there's something for everyone. Discover what these two cities have to offer by taking a look at our list of the best things you should never miss out on while visiting Minneapolis and St. Paul. Hi, my name is Kyle of viatravelers.com. I want to show you the best things to do in Minneapolis and St. Paul. Why? Because I've been a local to the Twin Cities for nearly my entire life. Well, I've been to plenty of places around the world. I always keep coming back home to you, my dear Twin Cities. Shout out to my Atmosphere fans. I run Via Travelers. If you like this guide, I'd appreciate a subscribe by hitting that shiny red button below. Or you can always stop by my blog at any time by visiting viatravelers.com. Welcome to this video where I'll be your mini tour guide, showcasing some of the best attractions, activities, and things to do in Minneapolis and St. Paul, with video footage from yours truly. We've got an ever-changing landscape of new venues popping up every day, so it's hard for even locals sometimes, but don't worry, because we're going to cover a lot of them here today. From food, art galleries, museums, bars, everything that makes a city great will be covered. In this video, I'm going to show you one from each side of the Twin Cities. For example, I'll cover one side of Minneapolis and then one side of St. Paul to keep it fresh for you. And also you can see the contrasting styles that I so truly love. Number 1, hang around Cathedral Hill and tour Cathedral of St. Paul. The Cathedral of St. Paul is the head church of the Episcopal Diocese of Minnesota and still serves as house of worship to thousands every single week. This cathedral is a true masterpiece and is one of the best examples of Romanesque architecture in the entire United States. This cathedral stands tall over St. Paul, looking over both the city and the capital, as well as the old world charm of the surrounding neighborhood of Cathedral Hill. Cathedral Hill is a great area to hang out in that it features plenty of amazing bars and restaurants that had that classic St. Paul old world charm, as well as some modern flair. Number 2, visit the chain of lakes for any activity you can possibly think of. Minneapolis's most famous park is the Chain of Lakes Regional Park, which features expansive gardens, 3 gorgeous lakes which you can explore via bike ride or even walking or hiking. Minneapolis is called the City of Lakes for a reason. There isn't a ton of sprawling metropolis out there that feature this much outdoor activity. In Minnesota, lakes are one of our most passionate attractions. The Chain of Lakes Regional Park is the most popular segment of lakes in all of Minneapolis and the surrounding areas. This series of lakes are located right in the middle of South Minneapolis, and each lake has its own unique characteristics. Number 3, check out professional sports team. In the Twin Cities and Minnesota in general, sports are a big deal. The Twin Cities has 4 major professional sports teams, including Minnesota Timberwolves, Minnesota Wild, the Twins, and of course, the Minnesota Vikings, Gold Vikes. Each one of these teams has their own stadium, and they're all gems and experiences in their own way, except the Target Center. Sorry, Timberwolves fans. But that's not all. Let's not forget the amazing atmosphere at Allianz Field in St. Paul for Minnesota United games, professional MLS team in the state. Also, if you're staying in downtown St. Paul during summer, you absolutely need to see a St. Paul Saints game. It's like a carnival that just so happens to have a baseball game breakout during it. Number 4, get lost along the Mississippi River Gorge. Another one of my personal favorite free things to do is touring Mississippi Gorge Regional Park. This park features even more sprawling hiking, biking, and cross-country ski trails to fill more of those athletic adventures that Minnesotans truly love. I love the Wind Chill Trail located right along the river. Beyond hiking and biking, there are several beaches located along the river that locals frequent. You may even see a bonfire at night in the summer. These trails are located on the banks of the Mississippi, of course, but most importantly along the Great River Road National Scenic Byway, or West Great River Parkway, which is a national scenic drive that spans over 500 miles along the Mississippi River, making it a great spot for capturing beautiful fall colors. Number 5, visit the Minnesota State Capitol building. The Minnesota State Capitol building is a must-see while you're in St. Paul. It's the heart of the state government, of course. It therefore is included in many St. Paul itineraries. But it isn't just any Capitol building. This Capitol building has been featured in many movies and TV shows, including The Mighty Ducks. How could you not love that movie? It's mainly known for its Italian Renaissance architecture that was built from 1905 to 1915. It also contains a beautiful Hall of Governors on the first floor that features artwork from Minnesota artists, as well as the North Star right in the middle of the Capitol. Plus, there's an old-style Rathskeller where the government lunch hall is. You can check out the old frescoes on top of the ceiling. Number 6, take a walking tour on the Stone Arch Bridge. The Stone Arch Bridge is the second oldest pedestrian and bicycle bridge on the Mississippi River. The last passenger service was in 1978, 9 years after it was designated as a walking and biking path, making it one of the best free things to do while you're in town. As you walk the bridge, you'll get amazing views of downtown Minneapolis, the Mill City Museum, the Guthrie Theater, and the U.S. Bank Stadium, of course. While you're taking a walk, stop by one of the many great restaurants located in both St. Anthony Falls as well as the Mill City District. Number 7, tour the old world charm of Summit Avenue. Summit Avenue is one of the best places to go for a stroll in St. Paul. The street was named after a bluff that overlooks the Mississippi River Valley. The area was also where many of the wealthiest people in St. Paul and the entire United States built their homes. That includes the James J. Hill House, which was built in 1875 and is still used today as a museum to its creator. Also stop by F. Scott Fitzgerald's childhood home. With all the wealthy people from that area, do you think he was already inspired to write The Great Gatsby? I'll leave that up to you. Summit Avenue is one of the most beautiful thoroughfares in the Twin Cities. It's home to the Episcopal Cathedral already mentioned, the Rice Park Fountain, and the 2 oldest synagogues in Minnesota, not to mention many other landmarks like the Minnesota Governor's Mansion. There are also other great things to do along Summit Avenue, such as visiting one of the many great restaurants or participating at one of the excellent festivals that take place in the area. Number 8, tour or even stay at the very first skyscraper at the Foshay Tower. The Foshay Tower, also known as the IBM building, was completed in 1929 and opened to the public on May 15th. It stands 296 feet and 4 inches at its completion. The Foshay Tower is a historical tower that has an Art Deco style design and is actually part of the National Register of Historic Places. The building is now the W Minneapolis. You could stay the night in the tower or simply stop by for drinks. I suggest going to the top floor. It was one of the first buildings completed in the city center of Minneapolis, and it became an instant landmark for the Twin Cities region because of its distinctive architecture. Number 9, visit the historic Schmidt Brewery and West 7th Street. Schmidt Brewery is another must-see for history buffs in St. Paul. The brewery was founded by Frederick Schmidt in 1860 and was one of the largest breweries in the nation before Prohibition. The brewery closed its doors forever after more than 130 years of business. The building reopened again after a major renovation project, with preservation as one of the key factors. The building is supposedly very haunted after several accidents have occurred there. I can't confirm these myself. To this day, this cannery building still can be seen, preserved for future generations to see and appreciate. You can now stop in to visit the Keg and Case Market that features a brewery, local restaurants, and shops in an open market concept. Then start a little bit of a St. Paul craft beer crawl by hitting some of the best breweries in the Twin Cities, up and down West 7th Street. Number 10, get your creative fix in at one of the many amazing museums in the Twin Cities. The Minneapolis Institute of Art is one of the most popular things to do in Minneapolis, and is the most popular museum in the Twin Cities. The museum has been operating for over 100 years and may be one of the best museums in the entire United States. Plus, it's completely free to visit. Art aficionados can swing by the Minneapolis Institute of Art to get the over 90,000 different works of art from 6 continents spanning 5,000 years. You can also see works by Van Gogh, Monet, Pissarro, and even classical Italian Renaissance painters. The Twin Cities also features plenty of other excellent museums, such as the Walker Art Center, which is a modern art gallery, the Weissman Museum, which is an art gallery designed by Frank Gehry, and the Bakken Museum, located in South Minneapolis. Number 11, get lost in the trails at Minnehaha Falls. One summer hotspot is Minnehaha Park and Falls in South Minneapolis. Over the years, this 7-mile loop has become a popular spot for cyclists and hikers alike to take in the sights of the natural Minnehaha Falls and Minnehaha Creek. Believe it or not, Minnehaha Falls is actually an extension of Lake Minnetonka. Just like our beloved Prince said, purify yourself in the depths of Lake Minnetonka. You can technically do a bit of it by touching the water here. Minnehaha Creek starts in Grays Bay of Lake Minnetonka and winds all the way down through the Twin Cities to end up at this awesome regional park. From there, Minnehaha Creek continues on to the mighty Mississippi River. If you don't mind the cold weather, visit the falls in winter to see a completely frozen waterfall. Number 12, learn the history of Minnesota milling at the Mill City Museum. To see what once was the world's biggest flour mill and a glimpse of what daily life was like during the Industrial Revolution, head to the Mill City Museum. This museum is an award-winning museum housed inside a historic building that is definitely worth your time to check out. The building was originally put up 1873 as one of the world's largest flour mills and includes things like the original water turbines that were used to run it. Mill City Museum is now a cultural institution that explores the history of Minnesota and its role in the Industrial Revolution while giving an inside look at flour milling, labor struggles, and the general strike. Number 13, take a day trip to one of the many metropolitan cities that surround the Twin Cities. The Twin Cities are much more than just Minneapolis and St. Paul. One thing people don't always realize is this is a sprawling metropolis of suburbs and cities surrounding both these two cities. You can't just look at just Minneapolis and just St. Paul, because both of those cities combined are really 25% of the total Twin Cities greater metropolitan area. With that being said, there's plenty of great cities to visit along the way. Cities like Excelsior, Minnesota, located right on the banks of Lake Minnetonka, or even going a bit outside of the Twin Cities and visiting a place like Stillwater, which features historic charm, amazing architecture, great dining, and expansive views of the St. Croix River Valley. Number 14, visit Northeast or North Loop Minneapolis for some great nightlife. Minnesotans love their alcohol, and if you're visiting, you'll find that beer and cocktail tasting is one of the more fun things to do in the Twin Cities. Minnesotans love their beer, and there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, I'm even drinking a Summit beer right now. Minnesota is one of the most perennial, underrated states in the country for excellent beer. With a history of legendary old-style brewing like Grain Bell Beer, Hamm's, and Schmidt's, to Summit Brewery, to now the hundreds, if not thousands, of great craft breweries, you may find that it's physically impossible to visit every brewery in the Twin Cities. Visit Northeast for a classic feel of excellent Minnesota dive bars that even the locals can't get enough of. Or head over to the other side of the river to visit North Loop for some of the more yuppie, modern flair where you can wine and dine with hundreds of people sporting their finest athleisure for a night out on the town. Hey, that stuff can be pretty comfortable. Number 15, immerse yourself in other cultures. The Twin Cities has a long history of welcoming immigrants, and learning about varied cultures is one of the best things to do in Minneapolis and St. Paul. This continues to be a perennial underrated activity. No person should be unwelcomed anywhere, and that is one of the most beautiful things about the Twin Cities, and is something that I'm incredibly proud of. I call this city my home. After Somalia's civil war, many Somalis settled in Minneapolis and made this city their home. As a matter of fact, Minneapolis is home to the largest number of Somalis in the entire United States. Thousands of Hmong flocked to Minneapolis and St. Paul to flee from war and strife in Laos. You can immerse yourself in their culture by heading to the Midtown Global Market, where you can nibble on Hmong snacks, buy ethnic handicrafts, and dine at local favorite restaurants. For some more Latin flair, head to Mercado Central for awesome food, grocery, shopping, and a peek into Minneapolis's vibrant Latino and Mexican community. No matter your interest, you betcha, sorry I had to do it, you will find something to enjoy in these two great cities. From the best restaurants and hotels to the activities for kids of all ages, Minneapolis and St. Paul are sure to delight any traveler. If you think about taking a trip here soon or live nearby but haven't explored this area yet, Use this guide to try something new. Join me in my next video from some of my favorite places to visit in Minnesota, or some of the other destinations from around the world that I've toured. If you love YouTube, give us a subscribe by clicking that shiny red button below. Or if you prefer to get everything directly to your email inbox, click the join our newsletter link in the description below. Thanks for watching this Via Travelers video of my hometown. Cheers.